G'day YouTube, it's Steve here. I'm Steve Bell. I'm just clicking it back in and doing a bit of an update. It's been about a week and a half since I did my update, which was, I think it was meant to be a 5-week update, but I actually just realised after I'd done the video it was actually about 4.5 weeks until my surgery. My gastric sleeve surgery, which is actually booked in for, I'll just double check the date, it's the 28th of June, so which is actually 3 weeks from today. So just giving you a bit of a update on what's going on. I just want to firstly thank all the everyone who's been giving comments back to me on my YouTube, on the channel, and on Facebook, and it's been pretty incredible the amount of comments that I've been getting, and it's pretty exciting the amount of comments. I might just move the camera a little bit, and just blown away by all the people. And like Little Aussie Mel just giving, I think she was one of the first to comment back, and it was great to have another Aussie around. And Lisa AVS English, who's also been commenting, and I know she's been having she had her own surgery in the last couple of days, which I know she's just recovering, so I wish her all well. It's pretty after watching a lot of the videos, I always thought it was going to be, it was pretty exciting having all that support, but when it started getting that support for my own video, it was really exciting. So it's great to have that support around. It's also been interesting watching some of the other videos on like Little Aussie Mel and Warrior, VSG Warrior, and Tanya's, and a whole lot of others, and talking about some of their experiences, which some of those experiences they've talked about being the size they are before surgery, and some of the reasons they've gone into deciding to have the surgery. And look, some of the things that was hitting me was things that have been happening to me probably in the last for years, or probably and mostly really probably got highlighted in the last couple of years, that and things that I've just really dismissed, have gone, oh yeah, well that's not going to happen. So probably example of that, I've got a couple of examples of that. First one was my family were going to a amusement park not long last summer. We all went along as a family, and I was wanting to take some of my boys, which I've got a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I was wanting to take them on some of the rides, and they were going, "Come on, Dad, let's go on this ride, and let's go on this ride." One of the first rides I went on to was some spinning whizzy thing, and went to jump into it, and went to do the seatbelt on, and couldn't get the seatbelt around me, and then went to another one and couldn't get the barrier on, the protective barrier on, so I had to really get off and go around the back. And look, it was just one of those things I just thought, oh yeah, cool, that's just what happened, and really dismissed it. And it really, probably that was one of the points that I was going, I didn't really think about it in the day, but when I look back at it now, I mean, I had my whole family there, my brother, and had my sister and other relatives there, and like it ended up, they were, like the boys were fine because they could go on there with my brother, or they could go on with my sister or other family members, but it was just one of those situations of going, well, I didn't really think about it, but it's one of the things I'm really starting to look forward to after surgery, being realised that, well, I can actually do that, and I don't want my boys to actually be missing out on that quality time with me. So another example of something that happened to me not long ago, was I was going to be, there was a function we were running at work, and at the last minute I got allocated the MCing's role, and our MC had pulled out a couple of days beforehand, so I ended up having to MC, which is fine. I don't mind MCing. I've done a bit of MCing in the past, and I normally don't wear a suit to work. I normally just wear pants and a shirt, and thought, oh look, it's going to be a big function with 150 150 people there, so I really got to look nice and look the suit, get the suit and all that kind of stuff. And I went to get my suit, which was a suit that we purchased one on our honeymoon back in 2009, and went to put the suit on, and no, it didn't fit it. So this was the day before the event, and so I went to the local shopping centre to go and buy a suit, and where I'd bought a suit in the past, walked in there and wasn't going to get a suit there. So I said to them, well, where can I go and buy something? I ended up going to another place and then going place, and then it was, in the end, I had to drive halfway across Melbourne and actually try and find a place which was going to fit my size, as I needed to get something that day. And when I look back at it, it was like it was quite a stress on the family, because it was a day that I normally I've allocated my work roster that I actually have one day a week off to look after my sons, and I'd actually organised while we normally do swimming in the morning with my sons on that day, and I'd organised for my father to come in and take the swimming lesson, and it's normally an hour or so, 2 hours or something like that, and it's fine. I would have been able to do it, but having to drive, the stress of trying to drive all over Melbourne, trying to find this suit, also knowing that I had to go back to the swimming pool and get back to picking the boys up, but it was just like one of those things where I look back and I was just going, well, why am I in this situation? Like, I shouldn't really have to do this. Like, why am I different? Do I have to go to certain shops to go and buy a suit and all that? So in the end, I bought a suit, and it was great. But it was just a whole rigmarole of just something that I could have got a lot more organised and looked at it a couple of days ago, but it was just one of the things that happened. The other thing is, another example of something that's really frustrated me, is like I've played tennis since, I don't know, I've always played tennis, and I still play tennis, and for the community, that's how I know John, and we played tennis as we were growing up, and before he moved over to New Orleans and married Tanya. Anyway, we played tennis, and we always play tennis, and the last probably 12, 18 months, I've started to have a lot more injuries than I've had in the past. I've had back issues, and I had some leg issues and some hip issues and all this kind of stuff. And this was probably the thing that started this whole journey of going. Anyway, it's been a bit hard because I've gone to a new club, so no one knows me, and I'm just and so for the last 18 months, going to this club and having been injured and playing inside and not being able to play because not being able for a couple of weeks, it's a bit of a frustration for not only me but for the players on my side. And one of the weeks that I was playing, look, I'm not a great tennis player. I've been playing for a long time, but one of the opposition players, at afternoon tea, he goes, "Mate, you're a really good player. I didn't realise how good a player was until the end of the day." And I said, "Well, yeah, but the biggest restriction, the biggest thing down in my tennis is my weight and not around the court. Like, I want to be able to get around the court. I'm really hoping that with this injury, I can lose some of it, and I can get back to at least being able to a bit of a level playing field. I'm sick of playing big social events on a Thursday night in the twilight in the summer. Where we have 45 guys on a Thursday night, and I'm probably one of the youngest, and they range up to playing 70 or 80 years of age. And I'm really sick of being the biggest guy. I'm sick of being the big guy there, and so there's been just sentences in the last might want to share. It's been interesting when I just wanted to started thinking about it and about the suit. Well, is this going to be an easy? And it's probably my view is after I watched back in in realising that this isn't going to be an easy one, and I'm really in for the. But the thing that through my head is like, is this a thing for me to do? Is it
And how is the mate with this surgery? How is that going to affect my life? Am I going to miss out on things? Am I foodie? I've always eaten like trying new foods and those kind of things, and it's just been how is that going to affect in the sense of my stomach more than it is now? But I think the thing that keeps reinforcing back to it is you still got a stomach, so you still got the opportunities, but you just take maybe smaller feeds for them, and hopefully that my screen just went off, and I'm hoping that nothing happened there, so it looks like it's still good. But and just also in the sense of wanting to and look, hoping that I can focus on getting more positive things and really looking at those kind of things. If I'm missing out on things, am I going to be missing out on things, or am I going to my world's going to open further by doing what I'm doing? So the kind of things. The other thing that one thing I wanted to talk about today was the sharing with others, and that's something that I'm struggling with a little bit with, and it's because I work in local government and pretty well known around the local government. Been there for about 8 or 9 years, and it's been interesting who I'm sharing this surgery with. I've got a team that I'm a team leader, so I've got a team of about 4 or 5, and I've shared it with them to know because I'm going to be on leave for 2 weeks. And they're all really great and they're really supportive. But it's just even outside of that team, who do I share it with? So, and also with friends, like I've shared it with a couple of friends, and they've all been very, very supportive. And I know some people are really close to me, and they've seen my journey in the sense of fighting the battle with my weight. There's always been a battle. They're going to be really supportive, but it's more the kind of incidentals. How do you share those kind of things? And I'm looking back at. I know I was looking at a little Aussie Mel's video, and she was talking about how she was sharing it with and who she wasn't sharing it with, and how she actually made the comment. And in fact, it might have been little Aussie Mel. I'm not sure who it was, but they were saying that they were saying after they'd had the surgery, and people were saying, "Wow, what have you done?" They pretty much said, "Look, I'm looking what I eat at. I'm watching my food and watching and getting exercise and all that kind of stuff," but they weren't mentioning the surgery, and that's probably something that I'm still trying to work out. How do I share that with people, and I'm also conscious of how that's going to change my relationship with my friends. So as I said, I've always been the big foodie kind of guy, and I've always been a big drinker and all that kind of stuff. So I've really just interested in how to feel. I'm not sure how that'll end up, and how it'll affect relationships with friends and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Just realised I haven't actually given any of my statistics, and pretty much my weight about 2 weeks ago was about 155 kilos. So for those Americans, it's 343 pounds, around that. And then in the last two weeks, I've actually been trying the Optifast shakes in the morning. So I've been having an Optifast shakes, and then really being a bit more conscious of my food as the day goes on. So, and I've dropped about 1.6 kilos. So I'm now 153.4, which is down about 5 pounds, which is pretty cool. So, but I'm really pleased with that. But I can see that I'm starting to make those kind of just being a bit more conscious of that kind of stuff and really go with things. The one thing that I'm pretty proud of in the last 2 weeks is I've made a conscious effort. Like in the past I've always drank a lot of Coke Zero and kind of a lot of cordials and trying to and all that kind of stuff. In the last probably 6 months, I've tried to move away from those, but still having to go back to them every probably couple of days a week, and leading up to probably 1 day a week, one drink a day, in the sense of like a sugar-free drink or a Coke Zero or something like that. I've been in the last 2 weeks. I've got off that. So the only time is I had a bourbon and lemon squash, which has always been my bit of a drink of mine. I had one bourbon and lemon squash, a couple of bourbon and lemon squashes on the weekend. So watching the football, but I'm really from this week onwards, and I've really just gone on to water. So I've been water and drinking a lot of tea, so a lot of black tea, which is good. But yeah, so that's where it is. I'm not sure how long I've been going here, but I think I've probably said enough for the night. So thanks for guys for watching it, and I'm going to try and report back on next week. So I'm actually going to be starting the OptiFast pre-diet, the shakes and everything this weekend. So I'm actually starting it I'm going to start it a couple of days earlier than my 2 weeks. So we've got a long weekend here in Melbourne this weekend. So I thought, look, it might be better to start it on the Saturday and then actually leading over a couple of days, and then I'm due back at work on Tuesday. So just seeing how I go with it. So and then that'll give me 3 days on it, and then I'll have the 2 weeks solid block between the solid leading up to the surgery on the 27th. So thanks everyone for watching if you've got this far, and hope I'll speak to you in a